beginning of our conversation, you talked about focusing on solving the right problem and addressing the right problem and being able to collaborate and figure out the way how we're going to make it work when we execute the strategy. From your perspective, what kind of cultures enables smoother execution and more effective execution of a strategy? What impact does it have on the way we need to lead organizations today? So you mentioned curiosity and collaboration, and truthful and having honest conversation. Can we build on that?
I think probably one of the most important attributes a leader can have, or leadership teams, if you want to think of it that way, can have, is humility. We have to be willing to step back and admit that things aren't going as well as we thought they might be, or we don't know as much as we thought we might have. I know this coming in from the outside, from a consulting point of view. You walk into an organization, you always hope that you're going to be able to then step in there and be that person that's going to help them get things figured out and get them on track. But there are two things you learn as soon as you step in. They're not as dumb as you might have thought they might have been, and they're a lot better they know a lot more than you do about their business, right?
Yeah.
So to me, that sense of humility of going into that so that you could sit down and say, okay, what's missing here, or what are we not getting right here? And if a leader were to stand up and to say, I don't know what the issue is, but I know there's an issue, and I'm counting on all of you and all of us collectively together to figure out what that is, and let's roll up our sleeves and get at it. So to me, that sense of culture of humility coming from the leader, and then from there you can start working from a point of collaboration, and I think sometimes collaboration gets a bad word, because people can make that akin to being slow, and it's not. You're better off to spend a little bit of time up front. Figuring out the right problem and working together on what are the solutions we can put in place, than not doing that and then find yourself 6 months, 8 months later in the glue and trying to figure out what to do, because a lot of people get brought in from the outside to fix things once they're broken, and that becomes very expensive and it becomes very frustrating for people.
There's this great book of Adam Grant called Think Again.
Yes. Love that book. Yeah.
Love that book as well. And I love the premise of the book that says democracy in ancient Greece was built on different perspectives and approaching different perspectives and different viewpoints from the point of curiosity and humility. That's what you're talking about. Because then you can learn from each other and you can actually make better decisions. I think that's what I hear you say when you talk about humility. Like, don't allow your ego come in. You are here in service of an organization, so have a courage and humility to actually be wrong, be corrected, and explore further in a real way. Is this what I hear?
Absolutely. I'll give you an example. I worked with this senior executive once who took on a new role in a new organization, senior role in a new organization. And in our initial conversation, this individual was very excited about the opportunity. It was a dream job, and was planning to go into it saying, I know the 5 things I need to do right away and what needs to be done. I've been watching this organization and I know what needs to be done. And I said, let's slow down a little bit.
Did you see my eyes getting bigger?
Let's go in there and find out what's going on. Like, spend some time, the old classic listening tour.
Slow down to get there faster.
Demonstrate to people that you're open to conversations, that you're willing to listen, that you have a degree of humility around you're not quite sure what it is. You have a sense of what things are. Here's my hypothesis. Is this right? What have I got wrong? What would you add to that? And this individual came back about 60 days later and said, okay, so that was wrong. Like, 2 of my 5 things will probably fit, but here's what I think I understand the real underlying problems to be. And then working with the team after that to try to come together as a leadership team, understanding collectively they own that problem. It's not one person imposing a solution on them. Collectively, as a leadership team, they own that problem, that they could then take it down the path. So to me, that's what humility is all about.
But it's an elegant way of drive accountability and share ownership for what needs to be done, right?
Yes, 100%.